All right, we're in the second week of full-time training with Coco here. Today I'm going back through the very first fundamentals of the groundwork, and I'm working on her yielding of the hindquarters right here. And I'm not so much sneaking around her. I'm just really looking for her to pivot on her front foot and cross her back feet over as she turns. So right there on her left foot, she didn't pivot. She keeps moving it, and there. I keep asking her to go, and then she steps over again. So I ask her to do it again, and I see that she keeps pivoting, and then that's when I stop and rub her and desensitize her to it. I tell her to back here quite vigorously because she has not been paying attention to me when I ask her to back in this method. Now before, she was being asked to do sending exercises, and I had to go back and correct some behaviors that she picked up, which was without my asking of her. She was just turning into me. As I stay behind the dry line here, I just kind of keep her forward, and if she offers to stop, I will keep moving her forward. But here I just submitted her, I yielded her hindquarters, and she gave me two eyes nicely. And as I try to change her direction, I'm looking for a nice smooth figure eight. Here she's just looking to stop. That was good. We'll try to change her direction again. That was good. That was really good, but she didn't do the figure eight as I have been wanting her to. It's better than nothing. Yield her hindquarters. Rub her down with the stick. Here I move on to her flexing, because as I was writing her last week, I noticed that her flexion was very poor, and especially on her right side here. And I'm doing it from her left side because I want her to get used to what it feels like if I'm up there in the saddle. This just kind of bridges the gap between saddle and groundwork. Now here's a method that I like to do to get her to turn around and yield her hindquarters pretty much by herself. And this is a good method for desensitization. So you can see I'm flipping the rope all around her, and then I eventually catch her back legs with it. She's not sure what's going on here, so I'll just add the pressure a little bit, and as soon as she gives to the pressure, I'll take it away. You can see that she's pivoting nicely and crossing her back legs. That's what I'm looking for anyway. I'm looking for her to cross her back legs and pivot on her front foot. Here we go again. Nice cross and a pivot. There we go. Very nice. And one more time. There's definitely some walking there, but she was crossing her back legs, which is great. The lesson moves on. I'm really just flexing her and desensitizing her to my body movements, to the sounds. I really want to bomb-proof this horse, or I should more appropriately say child-proof this horse, because I want her to have kids or a child all over her, making sounds and moving around, and her quite honestly just not being bothered by it. Aware, but just not bothered. So you'll see me patting her down and then making lots of noise when I finally jump up on her. I'm just patting her all around, and I'm making loud noises. I'm not sneaking at all. I'm just quite loud. This is how children can be sometimes. Not being rough with her in any way, by the way. I'm just not being sneaky or quiet. I wound up riding her around a little bit bareback, and she did really great, especially with this halter. This training halter really is irreplaceable, especially not having a round pin to work in. But Coco did really great today, and though she was aware and a little bit uncomfortable with what I was doing, she actually did really great, and she had no kind of attitude in wanting me to get off. She just accepted it willingly, and she was very patient and quite understanding. Good girl, nice and soft. If you're having problems with your horse taking off while you're trying to mount or otherwise just sitting there, this is a really great fundamental method to come back to, that lateral flexion. Also, it helps with their quietness the louder you are. I always say the louder you are, the quieter the horse. And when I'm making lots of movement and sound up there, she'll be desensitized to it, and over time, she won't even blink. I just went and sent her a few times forward, backwards, left and right. I got her to yield, 2 eyes, and then we did some flexion again, and then that's where we ended the lesson. Coco did really great today, and as she's progressing in her training, I'm changing up my body language just a little bit, and so we're not so obvious with our body language. And soon enough, Coco will be able to pick up on the smallest subtle cues from me.